In the quiet village of Okofia, where the red earth gleamed beneath the sun and the air carried the scent of roasting yams and wood smoke, there lived a young girl named Olana. Olana's parents had died when she was still small, leaving her in the care of her father's only brother, Uncle Obina. Uncle Obina was a good man, but he was soft-spoken, and his wife, Madam Ego, ruled their household with an iron tongue and a hard hand. From the moment Olana could carry a calabash on her head, Ego turned her into a servant. Fetch the water, Olana. Wash these clothes, Olana. Cook for us, Olana. While Olana toiled from morning till night, Ego's daughter, Amarochi, sat idly on mats, painting her nails with camwood and gossiping with friends. Olana wore tattered clothes that barely covered her body, and she was often given the smallest portion of food after everyone else had eaten. Many nights, she went to bed hungry, clutching her stomach while Amarochi licked oil off her fingers. Though Uncle Obina pitied her, whenever he tried to speak up, Ego's sharp words silenced him. "Do you care more for that girl than for your own daughter?" she would hiss. And Obina, weary of quarrels, would say nothing. But Olana's spirit remained gentle. She never raised her voice. She endured. Each morning, Olana carried a rope and basket into the forest to fetch firewood. On her path, deep under a cluster of tall Iroko trees, stood a small hut where an old woman named Mama Neka lived. Most villagers avoided Mama Neka, whispering that she was strange. But Olana greeted her warmly and always left a small bundle of firewood by her hut. At first, Mama Neka was surprised. "Child, why do you give me wood without asking for anything?" Olana smiled softly. "Because I have 2 hands, Mama. And you are alone." The old woman's heart warmed. From then on, each time Olana came, Mama Neka prepared food for her, hot yam pottage, roasted maize, sometimes even fresh palm wine. "Eat, my daughter," she would say. "You work too hard. You must not starve." To Olana, Mama Neka's hut became a haven. For there, she was seen, she was cared for. One afternoon, the sound of drums filled the air. The town crier marched through the marketplace, calling out in a booming voice, "By order of His Majesty the King, the Prince of Okofia shall take a wife. All maidens of marriageable age must present themselves at the palace in 3 days' time. From among them, the prince shall choose his bride." The village buzzed with excitement. Mothers dressed their daughters in the finest wrappers, braided their hair with beads, and polished their skin with palm oil. In Uncle Obina's house, Madam Ego wasted no time. She dressed Amarochi in her finest, fed her richly so her skin glowed, and boasted that her daughter would surely become the prince's bride. "But Olana, you will not go." Ego spat. "What would the prince want with a ragged orphan? Stay here and fetch firewood." Olana bowed her head. Deep inside, her heart ached, but she obeyed. On the day of the contest, while other maidens streamed toward the palace, Olana carried her basket into the forest. She stopped, as always, at Mama Neka's hut, leaving her bundle of firewood. The old woman stepped outside, frowning. "Olana, why are you not at the palace with the others?" Olana lowered her gaze. "My aunt forbade me, Mama. But it is well. I am happy to be here with you." Mama Neka studied her for a long moment. Then she shook her head slowly. "No, my child. You were not born for ashes. You were born for light." She led Olana inside and opened an old chest. From it she drew out wrappers of fine silk, shimmering like sunlight on water. She bathed Olana, rubbed her skin with fragrant oils, braided her hair with cowries, and placed coral beads around her neck. When she was done, Olana looked into a polished calabash of water and gasped. She hardly recognized herself. "You are ready," Mama Neka said with a smile that held secrets. "Go to the palace. Your destiny awaits." At the palace, the courtyard was alive with color and music. Dozens of maidens, each more beautiful than the next, stood in line, showing off their grace and charm. Prince Chinidu, tall and broad-shouldered, watched them carefully. Yet though they were dazzling, none stirred his heart. Then the gates opened, and Olana entered. The crowd fell silent. Her steps were light, her beauty radiant, her presence commanding without effort. It was as if the gods themselves had walked her into the palace. Prince Chinedu's eyes locked onto her. His heart leapt. He stepped down from his stool and walked directly to her, ignoring the other maidens. "What is your name?" he asked softly. "Olana," she whispered, bowing her head. The prince smiled. "Olana shall be my bride." The drums thundered. The maidens gasped. Madam Igo and Amarochi, watching from the crowd, turned pale with fury. That same evening, palace guards rode to Uncle Obina's compound. Before the gathered villagers, the captain announced, "By the command of the prince, Olana's uncle shall come to live in the palace, honored as the father of the future queen." Uncle Obina wept openly, blessing Olana with joy. Madam Igo's face twisted with envy, and Amarochi's pride crumbled to dust. They were left behind in shame, while Obina rode with honor to the palace. Olana's wedding to Prince Chinedu was celebrated for 7 days and nights. The air rang with music, masquerades danced, and the people rejoiced. And when she became queen, Olana never forgot Mama Neka. She brought her into the palace, honoring her as the grandmother who had seen her worth. From then on, Olana ruled with kindness and wisdom, her story spreading across villages. The orphan girl despised and forgotten. Who became the queen? Her beauty not only of face, but of heart and spirit. No amount of envy or cruelty can stop destiny. True beauty shines not in wealth or clothes, but in kindness, humility, and grace.